we're happy still. I did you wrong.
Good morning, you absolute legends. We're in Girona. Girona is a cycling mecca, and I can now see why. We arrived here late yesterday, but you see those mountains in the background? A lot of professional cyclists live in Girona. Obviously a lot of them are out racing at the moment at the Vuelta and other races around the world, but I'm hiring a bike today, so I can't wait to get amongst it. Let's do this.
You see, and I hope you're doing better, cause dealing with me is like flow of the weather. Always a change, always a twist.
So this is Tess. I've just met Tess now. She is a physiotherapist living here in Girona, so she knows a lot of the pros.
I came here to work, so I work as a physio, a chiro and a masseuse therapist. So I do help a lot of cyclists in town and tourists that comes by and stuff like that, yeah.
And do you ride yourself?
I do.
So is it really that good? Like there's lots of mountains around Girona.
Yeah.
Do you go out to the mountains, or is there a beach, or what is there?
Well, you can ride to the beach, so you have a big variety of different rides you can do. Yeah. So you can head up to the mountains if you want to, or you could stay quite flat, or take the ocean road, or go to one of the small lakes.
Okay. How are you, brother? Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So you've been staying here for how long?
Tomorrow is my 4th Sunday in Girona. And I'm not planning, well, I have to leave, but I don't want to leave, man. I just love it here.
When are you leaving?
Got to go to Eurobike on the 27th of August, and then go back to Sydney on the 6th of September. Okay. For a meeting.
Okay. And are you going to stay here the whole time, or are you going to go to the Vuelta?
I'll do a few stages of the Vuelta, and then, just see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Mirarme en tus ojos, tenerte muy cerca, verte junto a mí.
Jason used to race for Drapac, so he's living here in Girona now.
Yeah, I'm living here.
Ex-Drapac rider, so Bendigo boy?
Yep, Bendigo boy. Not born in Kalgoorlie, but essentially
born in Kalgoorlie?
Born in Kalgoorlie.
Did you ever race the Menzies to Kalgoorlie?
I haven't. It was before I was a bike rider, I was living there. Yeah. I started racing like maybe 5 or 6 years ago now. Okay. On the mountain bike with Talk Nutrition, the mountain bike team. Yeah. Same as Jack Haig, Chris Hamilton, so even Steele Von Hoff is living here. We weren't teammates at the time, but yeah, we're all happen to live in Girona at the same time awesome. Now as well.
And it's that good? Is it that good for cycling?
Yeah. It is? That good for food. Like, it's beautiful, as you can see. Me and Chris live on this little skinny street here, you can see, so pretty damn nice here. Really good for people watching, which is really good for passing time when you're, relaxing, recovering. So yeah, love it here.
Good on you. And what, Federal best cafe in town?
Federal, it's neck and neck with La Fabrica. There's a few other spots. You find some nice menu del Diaz. You pay like 10 to 12 euro and you get a 3-course meal with drinks and good service, good food. Yeah, love it here in Spain.
Yeah, nice. So have you done any Ks yet? Have you been on the bike, or what are you doing? You just dragged yourself out of bed.
We're trying to get going, trying to get the day started,
Oh yeah? Is it me holding you up? I'm holding you up, aren't I? A little bit.
I mean, if I really wanted to go, I'd be gone, wouldn't I? Yeah.
You see, and I hope you're doing better, cause dealing with me is like flow of the weather. Always a change, always a twist. I miss your curves, you miss my kiss.
So we've stopped at a little cafe called Espresso Mafia, which is a cafe here in Girona. It's one of the other good cafes. It's run by Christian Meyer and his wife Amber, and Christian used to be, well, was a former pro cyclist. So yeah, looks like he is doing very well because this cafe is awesome.
But it's coffee.
It does. It looks like Guinness.
You'd love it, Mark.
So what is it? What is it?
I'm told that it's like a cold brew coffee, but it's out of a keg.
Okay.
So it comes out like a beer, and you know you get the creamy head on top, and it has like the mouthfeel that a beer would have. So it's sort of, if you've got to stay straight, like we've got to go to the pool now, so I can't really be drinking and swimming because you know that's not the right thing to do. So you can have a nitro and you sort of feel like you're
This is a perfect
coffee.
drink, coffee and beer, because it's like a mix of coffee and beer basically.
You want to give it a go?
Good. Yes, I do.
Have a little sip.
I do. All right, so let's try this bad boy. So it's cold. It's cold. Looks like a Guinness. Probably not as thick.
Full comprehensive review.
We'll see. You don't get shankers on your lips or anything?
Not recently anyway.
Shankers. How good's a shanker? Yeah, that's gold. That's gold. Especially on a hot day.
From flying from Australia, it's actually quite tough to just come over and do one race. So I came over and raced in Switzerland, and then knowing about sort of the cycling and the training around here and the facilities, I came here, did a few weeks training, and then went to France for another race. So it sort of turned into a month-long racing tour or campaign. So it's been really cool, and there's plenty of other professionals around like Laura.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of pros basically based in Girona just to train.
Triathletes as well.
Triathletes as well, not just cyclists. I think cyclists probably pioneered the whole thing, but now there's sort of triathlon's best professionals train and live in Girona as well. So yeah, it's crazy. Yep, it's really, really cool. And because it's such a small town and there's quite a good social aspect, you're always bumping into the same people, and you know, particularly with triathlon, there's only one 50-metre Olympic distance pool here, so you're always going to sort of see the same people. And the coffee shops like La Fabbrica and Espresso clearly make the best coffee in town, and I'm not paid to say that, but so you're always going to see, you know, like-minded individuals sitting around at these places. So it's just a really cool place to train at.
All right, so I was talking about Amber owning the cafe. This is Amber.
Hello.
She's come out to say hello.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes because she's got to go back to the other store. But so you started this cafe here?
My husband and myself, yes. So basically he rode the Tour de France in 2014.
Yeah.
It was great, but it kind of then he finished, he came home, and we came to this point where we thought, what are we really doing with our lives? Well, what am I doing with my life? And once he reached that point of doing everything he had ever wanted to do in cycling, we thought it was time for the next adventure. And so we opened La Fabbrica. We started going through so much coffee at La Fabbrica. It was doing really well. Everyone really loved it. So we thought, let's open Espresso Mafia. And so this is where we actually roast the coffee. And by doing that, we also then decided, well, let's do a little takeaway. Let's make it really geeky. Let's make it really exact. And let's try to do the best coffee in Girona. And so we then opened this one on the 1 year anniversary of La Fabbrica. And so it's good. It's kind of continued. Then the next year we opened the service course, which is I think where you're heading off next.
Okay.
And so it was keeping the bike theme in tow, but also the passion for coffee, which is Christian's new venture. So, yeah, all in all, pretty
That's awesome. So this is a cafe. Fabbrica is a cafe.
Yep.
And then you've got the service course, which is a bike shop.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the main passion? Is it coffee or the bike shop?
It's both. It's not so much the bike shop, but our passion is people.
Yeah.
And so people who are coming to Girona to enjoy a holiday, if that's on bike or if that's not, coffee is a daily ritual for so many people. It's your one moment to enjoy something that's handcrafted and meticulously made specifically for you. And so we pride ourselves on, we get all the beans green from around the world. Christian roasts it to exact perimeters, serves it double the amount that any other bar in Girona does, 7 grams of coffee. We do 18 grams of coffee. And so people come in, if you're from Australia or North America, places that have these cafes, you drink it, and we have people all the time, oh, this is the best coffee I've had like in months, you know, or my whole time in Europe, or in my life sometimes if we're lucky. And so yeah, it's merging the passion of coffee, the passion for people, and the passion for bikes, because he did the Tour de France. It'll always be kind of in the background there that he was a cyclist. So it's merging all three and coming up with an end product that everybody likes.
passionate from miles away.
This Eat Sleep Cycle is a shop that opened up last year. 3 young, enthusiastic cyclists, a couple, and this fella, Brian Canty, calls himself Brendan Canty now and then.
Okay.
And they specialize in doing tours in the Pyrenees and other parts of Europe, but they've launched their business really specializing in the Pyrenees.
Okay.
Passionate from miles away. Passive with the things you say. Passing up on my old ways. I can't blame you, no.
So this is the store that I was telling you about that Christian Meyer owns. Very, very classy establishment, in my opinion. It's the Hannah said it's the Spanish Rafa. Didn't you, Han?
I don't know if that's insulting or not.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's insulting. You better not say that too loud.
Three position lockout will take control. And you can calibrate each lockout by 40% with that.
And so now I'm in bike brakes. It is it's a pretty awesome bike shop in Girona, and I just met Dave. We're talking about it is the new
It's the new 2018 Cannondale Jekyll.
Okay.
So this is the Jekyll 1, the top of the range one, so full carbon.
Yep.
I've been waiting for this bike for about 6 months.
Okay, you seem
happy.
to be.
It came yesterday.
You seem to be pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, I just did my first ride on it.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away.
You love it?
Yeah, I mean, I've ridden a lot of bikes. I've ridden a lot of trail bikes and 160, 170 travel bikes.
Yeah.
And this one's the best one I've ever ridden. They've got it absolutely perfect.
What is special about it? What have they done? In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, it's the geometry. So new geometry, new suspension. Okay. 420 chainstays.
Yep.
65-degree head angle.
Yep.
170 front, 165 rear.
Okay.
All carbon.
Yep.
So it's under 12 kilos with 160, 170 travel.
Okay.
Bike Race has been here 10 years now, just over 10 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. So.
And how long have you had it?
We started it. So myself and my wife run Bike Breaks, and we started it in 2000, just the end of 2008. We're 3 things. We're a bike shop, we're a rental centre, and we're a tour company. Okay. So the rentals now for us is the biggest part of the business for sure. So,
is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This is the workshop.
Okay.
Bike wash. Downstairs.
Bike wash. I like this.
So this building was a bank. This is a 100-year-old bank.
Okay.
1911 they built this.
Yeah.
This was the vault. So now it's for the bikes and clothing. So I have clothing from 40 different pro riders. Every box is a different pro rider. Really? So I have kit from many guys now. So you can see there's Chloe Hossens, Collie Taylor, Michael Hepburn, Dennis Winden, Reinhardt, Nathan Krauswijk, Robert Geesink.
Happy?
Happy's there, yeah, Happy, very important.
Chloe?
Yeah. And I sell that kit on their behalf.
Oh, right.
So we've been doing that for a few years, and now I'm opening a new shop, which is just across the square there, and I'll take you and have a look in a minute.
Yeah.
And we're ramping up the kit that we're selling from them. So I also buy kit from pro teams, so new kit, surplus kit, and I sell it in there too. So we'll have an online shop. That's an exclusive because it's not open yet. So I'm opening in 2 weeks. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. There you go. I'm loving this setup here. The combo, the helmet, the glasses.
It's not all black today.
It's very, I know, I tried something different.
It's good. It's good.
I do have a blue top though.
Do you get a lot of Aussies here, Dave?
Yeah, millions.
You do?
Yeah. But number of clients from Australia has risen like massively in the last 2-3 years.
Have you seen a massive insurgence of cycling?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we've already discussed this, but you've been here for a long time.
Yeah, so when I came here, like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's when Lance was still here.
Yeah.
And Discovery Channel team.
Yeah.
So it was like cycling locally is very popular.
Yeah.
So every weekend there's races, and there's hundreds of people that go to those races. So there exists a culture of cycling here, and it has done for many years. So it's a respected sport, unlike it is possibly in the UK and possibly in Australia.
Yeah.
Here it's a respected and mainstream kind of sport.
Okay.
In terms of pros coming here, that really started with Lance. Like in the late 90s, early thousands, that's when they started to come here. Now there's over 100 pros based here, and there's 2 pro teams. So the guy who was just in here a minute ago pumping up his tyres, he's from the Cycling Academy team. The guy that just came to collect his package, who just left, that's Oram from One Pro Cycling. So there's a lot of pros in town. In terms of visitors, like it's been increasing slowly. Like I said, myself and my wife, we ran another tour company here for 5 years before we started bike breaks. Then it was mainly touring bikes, so hybrids, people doing normal generic bike tours. In the last 10 years, it's really taken off with people visiting, doing real cycling, road biking. And as I said, we started with 10 bikes then, and now we have 250. So it's really grown. The last 2 years, it's like an explosion. It's like Girona's not a secret anymore. And it's just increased.
And I noticed
insanely.
You've got fluent Spanish.
I speak Catalan, I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so the language that like when I first came here, I was a mountain biker, so I spent most of my time, I still am, but I spent most of my time in the mountains, and the more out into the sticks you go, the more it's Catalan that they're speaking.
Hold 2 centimetres.
Good too. You need bottles?
Just one bottle.
Yeah?
Let's go riding, team. Let's do this. What a legend, he set me up on the bike, it fits me. How good. All right, so again, the front brake is on the left-hand side, which I'm used to the front brake being on the right-hand side, but hopefully I remember that in an emergency. It's good to be back on the bike, definitely good to be back on the bike.
Passionate from miles away, passive with the things you say. Passing up on my own ways, I can't blame you, no.
So what is this church, mate?
This is a sanctuary of Els Angels. It's a famous church here in Girona, and an artist, a Spanish artist named Salvador Dali, who was an impressionist, or a surrealist, he got married here to his wife Gala.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting story.
You know a lot of random facts.
Yeah, well, you know, the Salvador Dali is sort of a it's a thing here because he was a famous artist from Catalonia, and there's several sort of features around here that have some reference to him. So there's a village not too far from here called Pubal, where he had a castle that he built for his wife Gala, and he wasn't allowed to come to the castle, his wife's castle, unless he had a written invitation from her. He could send a request, had to be written, and then she'd write back, let him know when he could come. I think because there was a few suitors and stuff like that in the castle that she would be entertaining. And he lived in their house that they built together years earlier on the coast. We could actually see that area from the view when we were looking out towards the coast. We could actually see where their house was, or is. It's now a museum. All these things can be visited. They're fun museums. Dali's a fun artist, so it's really entertaining to look at his art. And he also built a museum for his hometown, Figueres, which is also visible from that view over there. And he turned a theater into this mausoleum to surrealism. It's unbelievable. It's an amazing, I mean, you just can't help but be like wowed and entertained, because the guy had a crazy imagination. So there's some interesting things to look at here that sort of relate to Salvador Dali. A lot of people enjoy doing that sort of triangle of things, and actually 4 things when you include this church.
Hey, keep the noise down. We have had an awesome ride, very enjoyable, and now I'm going to go home and take my princess out for dinner. See you soon. Alright, legends, I just had a crash coming back to to wherever this is. I think I've got concussion because I can't even remember certain things. And my vision, I smashed my head through here on that side. I don't know if you can see that, but smashed my head, and I remember seeing this bright flashing light, and now the whole left side of my vision is just blurry. There's blurry lines everywhere. So hopefully I'm okay. The light in this hotel room is tears, but you can see where my helmet copped the impact. But the thing is, the impact mostly was through just above my eye. So it actually underneath the helmet. And I remember seeing this bright flashing light. And now as I look at this GH4 camera, I'm seeing all sorts of weird things going on. So I'm gonna go get checked out, because I've heard of bleeds that people couldn't recognize and all sorts of things. And it's better that I just go get it checked out. So this was my wrist that I broke in the last big crash that I had down at on Beach Road, and it's pretty painful now. So what I did is I actually went through a left-hand bend just up here about 200 meters away, and as I was going through the bend, I've got slicks on the front of this bike, and they just, man, I've never lost a front wheel ever going through a bend. So I lost the front going through a left-hand turn, probably braking a little bit too hard, and just went down and landed on my left wrist and smashed my my eye on the ground. So I feel like a bit of a wuss actually going and doing this and getting checked out, but at the end of the day it's probably better to be safe than sorry, especially considering my eyesight's all messed up. Alright legends, so I've just got out of the emergency within 45 minutes or thereabouts, but taking my princess out for dinner, that's the extent. Domino's Pizza, and they did a CAT scan and stuff, or they did scans on my head. They found no fractures and stuff like that, but left wrist, we're not sure if it's broken. They don't think it's broken, they just think it's a contusion or something like that, but it's pretty sore. So we're gonna go get some drugs now. I reckon that's the end of the vlog. I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, that's the end of the vlog, legends. See you tomorrow.
Orica is officially based in Varese, but they have, I think, 15 staff and almost the same number of riders here now. So they have a mini service course in Girona. So Sam Bewley lives over there, Midge Docker lives down there, Durbo lives down there. So like there's loads and loads of Orica riders here. So when they go back, they're talking about Girona and they're talking about being here and their European base. And a lot of people in Australia have started to know Girona and come here. You know, so.